Hey friends, it's Garrett from Gear, Glasses, and Gadgets, and today I'm going to give you 5 reasons why I love the Sirui VH-10X. Now, Amber and I have been using the Sirui products for, I'm going to say, somewhere between 3 and 4 years now. We started with their monopods and eventually upgraded to their tripods, and now we're using their fluid heads. And this fluid head is quite amazing. I'm very excited to share this with you. Been using it for about 6 months now, maybe 5 months, something like that. Somewhere between 4 and 6 months. I don't know, it all blends together. But one thing that I really love about this, and I'm just gonna go for the gold, I should save this till the end, but this is one of my favorite features, is the variable tensioner here. And what this is gonna do is gonna allow you to adjust the tension and the drag on your panning. Ooh, I know, it's not a new concept. I've seen this before in other heads. I've had heads that do that, but I've never personally seen a head this size, this small, with that feature built in. Now, there are 4 settings on it. We're gonna start with 0. And as you can imagine, that's very loose. So it's gonna be super loose, 0 as in almost no friction whatsoever. Number 1 is probably the one I use the most for when I'm doing slider shots. For instance, if I'm doing a, just a normal horizontal slider shot, instead of just let it be static and move left to right, as I'm moving left to right, I will turn the camera so that the subject, whatever it may be flowers, a dress, shoes, things like that, instead of just a slider shot that's moving left to right, it's not only moving left and right, but it's also turning with the motion. Just kind of gives it a really cool look. And I find that this number 1 setting matches my type of sliding that I do a little more than the other settings. Now, setting number 2 and 3, of course, the higher number you go, the more tension, the more drag you're gonna get. I use 2 a little bit, but I really use 3, and I know Amber uses it as well. When she's on, let's say, a 70 to 200 millimeter, at 200 millimeter, and she's tracking the subject, when you're that far in and maybe you have Sony's clear image zoom activated so that you're even closer, any little motion, any little bump that you do on the video head is going to reflect through the lens and thus be recorded. So I like to go up to number 3, and that gives me really fine adjustments, and I have to give it just a little bit more pressure to move it so I don't get those wobbly shots, and that's really handy. Number 2, the second thing I really like about the Sirui products is they're robust. They have a high standard of quality. Now, their products, I know their tripods and the video heads, they come with a 6-year warranty. So that means, they're gonna stand behind their product for at least 6 years, and that's gonna, how often do we get a gear and then have it for just maybe a few years? Something new comes out, so we sell it, and it's rare that I have the same piece of gear for 6 years, not because it broke, but just because I like new stuff and new gear, so I'll trade it off and get something else. But yeah, 6 years. I love the 6 years. Now, the Sirui head is solid milled aluminum. That's a great piece of just solid craftsmanship. And like I said, I don't take real good care of my tripods and heads. I throw them in the bag, and they're all together, wrap them up, go over my shoulder. So I've had this head for about, like I said, somewhere between 5 or 6 months, and I've beat the paint off of it, and it's still rocking solid. So gotta appreciate the craftsmanship. Number 3, I love this little extension arm. Most of the time I am on a monopod, sometimes I'm handheld, but when I'm on a monopod, let's just say this is on a monopod and I'm wanting to really lock down my shot, I like to take this little arm and extend it into my shoulder. Oops, let's go down a little bit here. Down right there. Just extend that into my shoulder. Tighten it up. That way when I'm shooting, I have an additional point of contact so the monopod isn't kind of floating out there in the distance a little bit. And I can pull this camera into my body and just have a much smoother and rock solid shot. So I really appreciate that. Or if you're trying to shoot above a crowd, the tripod is really up high and you're down low, you can really extend that handle so you can use it without reaching up really far. Love that little feature. Number 4, one of the things I really like about their heads, their video heads, is this quick release. Now, I know on some other heads I've used in the past, you have this little tensioner here that tightens the plate down. So to take a camera off, you'd have to loosen this And there's usually a button over here on the side or on this side that you press, and then you have to finagle this off while you're pressing that button. And it's kind of cumbersome. With this setup, you do loosen your little tensioner here. You can hold onto it with your thumb, and you just press it while you're holding the monopod. Slides right off. So you still have just that one hand there. You're holding everything up. You don't have to worry about it being very cumbersome. And the same applies when you're putting it back on. Now with that, it leads me to the fifth thing I like about this is the fact that it uses the 501 Manfrotto style plates. So if you're like me, you've bought a lot of Manfrotto stuff in the past, and you have maybe drawers full of those little plates. Well, this will accept those 501 style plates. And that's really handy. So that means you don't have to go out and buy all new plates from Sirui to put on all your gear. So that's really helpful. Now I will say that the Sirui plates are also solid milled aluminum, and that really goes a long way to just being stronger and a better connection. So I'm really happy with that as well. But yeah, if you get a chance, make sure and check their heads out, especially the VH-10X if you're into video shooting. Most major stores, photo stores, carry them. If you're maybe at WPPI, Photo Plus Expo, things like that, they always usually have a booth there. So make sure and check them out. For full disclosure, I will say that we are Sirui professionals. They do sponsor us and send us gear like this from time to time to check out and test for them. So take that into consideration, but I would never think of recommending something that I wouldn't absolutely stand behind. So check it out. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up, like this video, and subscribe. Thanks. Now, usually I'm on a monopod. Sometimes I don't like that at all. Don't use that. Check, camera check. Exposure looks good. Focus. Focus.
I need this lighting to just follow me around all the time, because this is perfect. I love this lighting. But can it just follow me wherever I go? If I go to the mall or shopping, just guys with lights and soft boxes and reflectors and bouncers and shotgun mics just follow me around all day. That would be fun for a minute, right?